Mhm. What's up, everybody?
You froze.
Monday. June is froze right now. Oh, there we are. I'm gonna make sure we don't freeze. If I have to, I'm gonna take this downstairs because we got to find out what's going on. This is the third Monday of the month, and it's Real Talk Chronicles. It's Real Talk with Alyson Williams, everybody. And I'm really excited about this show tonight because we're going to kind of do a little old school kind of real talk, how real talk really came to fruition, where we used to talk about relationships. But the bottom line is we're still going to talk about what we talk about. Juneteenth. Happy Juneteenth for everybody. I'm going to ask Alyson how she feels about that. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there, all the brothers, individuals that have stepped up to be real men and take care of their responsibility. That is a beautiful thing. Life is good, man. I mean, please, it's still a pandemic, even though we're transitioning back to some kind of normalcy, but still, let's keep it like safe. Let's keep it safe. Alyson, so how are you doing? What's going on?
Fine. It seems like, every time I turn around, it's the third Sunday. It's the third Monday. But this time, I felt like we were away from each other more than a couple of weeks. You know what I mean? It's like, wait a minute. Come on now.
Yeah. It seemed like time is just, what's happening. I'm really excited about tonight. I get to talk to you, of course, like always, but I get to talk to one of my best friends, and we get to talk about one aspect of this conversation tonight is dating as you mature. You know what I'm saying? So, but first, let me just get before we get into all that, because we're gonna wait for LG to pop in. LG, tell me, how'd you feel about Juneteenth? There's still so many other things that we need. There's laws out here that are important to people of color. But the bottom line is that Juneteenth became a holiday. I think it was nice that it was recognized. What's your take on it?
I think it's nice it was recognized, and I feel the exact same way. There are so many other things. We got celebration. Now we need motion and traction.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, they have a law out right now about, for Asian hate crime, but we don't have that for people of color. So there's just certain things that need to be definitely taken care of before we start celebrating. And I'm happy to see that everybody was celebratory in regards to Juneteenth. But the bottom line is there's so much more to be done.
And you know what else? And I'm gonna tell you what my real thought is. I still see it. So many things we get to celebrate, but it's always about something that has been taken from us. Our leaders that have been taken from us. We celebrate their birthdays and their deaths. And things that we should have had put in place, but now we celebrate it. Juneteenth, we was late. We had been free for 2 years, and there were some people that still didn't know. So I'm saying, what? Sometimes I feel like that, but I have to let that go and realize that I'm here, and I'm here because of those people that, despite the fact that they were they didn't get the information in time, and all those that were a part of that horrific crime against humanity that we know as slavery, that we are able to come forth and be where we are today. They didn't look at it and say, well, dang, y'all didn't let us know for 2 years, or y'all purposely kept us in the dark, or they didn't say that. They said, all right, look, here we go. Now we know. And they kept it moving. But in a lot of ways, I feel that way. I feel like it's great that we got the holiday, but that's what makes me able to say, okay, we got the holiday, great. We got a lot of dates on the calendar. Let's make some movement now. Let's get protection in place. Let's get let's have a revelation from the word reveal. We got to reveal what happened and then keep it moving forward and reveal where we are and how we are not going to just stand back and watch and be overlooked again.
Alyson, I totally agree with you. What's so funny? I just had somebody the other day kind of come at me and it was sad cute, and I'll use that terminology because it was sad because they're a person of color, and it was cute because you follow me, you sidebar and tell me how much you applaud the things that I do, but then you're going to come at me and say, why do I talk about issues of color? I see that you try to take a shot at me and say, what else am I versed in? But you say, I see that you have a social life. I see that you do things with the children. I see so many different things about you. But then the fact that, and it came to the point where I talked about the movie. I reached out to a lot of Afro Latinos, and I put it out there in social media. What did they think about? It was a topic from the Roots that Afro Cuban questioned the director, and asked him, well, why didn't you have more people of color, darker skinned Dominicans and Latins as leading roles in the movie instead of the light skinned white version?
What movie are we speaking
I think it's called The Heights.
Oh, The Heights. That's what I thought.
Yes.
That's The Heights.
Yes.
Right. Yes.
So we were having.
I'm not cutting you off, but every time, I don't know who's got a problem. Every time that commercial came on, that trailer, I got so happy. I got so happy to see my brothers and sisters, whether they were light, dark, or in between, being celebrated in that way, from the young to the old. I'm with it. I haven't seen the movie yet, but I realize that there are different areas where those things come into play. Dominicans, Puerto Ricans, Cubans, so on and so forth, all under the umbrella of Latinx or Latino. We got all these new terminologies, but our Spanish speaking and Latin brothers and sisters. When that commercial comes on, I get proud too. So
and so do I. And when I referenced the article, I said I'm supporting the movie, but I just wanted to know what people, Afro Latinos, thought about the interview. So I had one individual that is damn near darker than me take a shot at me, and she was like, why does everything have to be about race, arguments? And I was like, well, there isn't any argument here. This is intellectual dialogue about, what the question was from the interview. I said in the beginning, that I supported the movie. And I guess it was just so funny how there will always be a question. I guess what I'm really trying to say is that as long as I'm breathing, I will talk about the elephant in the room. I'm not afraid of having that conversation. For those that are afraid to have that conversation, shame on you. I don't know why. I've never said I dislike any other ethnicity, especially not people of color. I've never said I dislike my white friends and my white, the Caucasians of the world. I love them. I have great friends in that aspect. But the bottom line is, if you're not about the cause and the problem, then you are the problem if you're not trying to help with the solution. So I just thought it was so funny how that is. And like you said, I'm proud to see that. But just like
why also is because High Bridge Pool. All of those things. We've experienced that. We walked through those neighborhoods. Do you understand what I'm saying? And we walked through and felt safe. You know what I'm saying? We went on through. It's so amazing when I look at what this revelation is. Every ethnic group has had something about a light skin and a dark skin and a this and a that. Black people have that same thing. And all of those things that have been interjected into our cultures like that are based in hate. Those are the things that were meant to separate. Those are the things that you were lighter, or you were paper brown paper bag light, or you were this, or you were dark and it was bad and everything black was bad, or the different it's always, and I'm sure it happens in Caucasian
of course, absolutely.
This white people who don't like a certain white people. or a European who don't like a certain European. It's all there. Asian. It's all they're all. But all of those things we must remember. All of those things were interjected at some point to give us a place of hating each other or dividing each other. So what we have to do is don't work from a place of love, and hate can't win. Work
Absolutely.
from a place of love, and hate cannot win. I guarantee you. One thing for sure, two things for certain. So
yes, absolutely.
So all of us have been subjected to, oh, this one is better than the other one, or that one is this, that, and the other. We've all been subjected to it. So we have to. Wow, it's amazing.
Yeah, very much so.
All of that kind of speak that has to do with you're lighter or you're darker or I'm better or you're better or my people or your people or my mama and daddy didn't da. All of that comes from the hate side.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. They tried to divide and conquer that. And what's so funny? I'm a segue. Shout out to everybody. This is Real Talk Chronicles, of course. This is Real Talk with Alyson Williams. This is the third Monday of the month. Listen, if you're on YouTube, subscribe to it. If you're on Facebook, share it. Let people know what's going on. Steph is in the building. She says, Alyson, you look beautiful. Shout out to TJ. Luckner, I see you, brother. One day, Luckner, I'm going to get you on the show. But it's so funny, like you said, Alyson, and we're going to segue into our dating. We're also waiting for the late man. I mean, Lenny Green. I'm sorry. His name is.
He's trying to make an entrance. Is he trying to make an entrance?
Yeah, he's. Yeah, exactly. Lenny, time is money. Money is time. But so that also segues into one of the topics that I want to discuss tonight about us is that even in dating amongst ourselves, we have a problem with light skin, dark skin, long hair, short hair, eyes, this, like it's such a problem that I always tell people that we are so beautiful. We have a culture of brown skinned people that are so beautiful. And it doesn't take away from any other nationality or culture, but our brown skinned people, from the Latins to the African Americans, we're so beautiful. We can speak different languages. We can look different. We can have different grains of hair. And the bottom line is we still be people of color. I think it's just a beautiful world that we live in. And of course, society has always made, light is right, light skin, long hair. We all can fall victim to that. But the thing is, when it comes down to really dating and understanding who we want in our lives, it's all about love. If you can, Alyson, just talk about, have you ever got caught up or been a victim of, somebody not liking you because you're not light enough, or your hair wasn't long enough, or you know what I'm saying?
My entire life coming up, I realized that I didn't realize it until I got older. The standard was supposed to be light skin, little, long hair. And I had people in my life like that. And some of them were wonderful people, and others of them got caught up in it. And that's, and it kind of just, some of them got caught up in it. It wasn't even their fault. Kids I went to school with, we had a young girl in my class named Lisa Towns. Lisa Towns was very fair-skinned with that sandy blonde hair. She had two big, thick braids. And it was almost like the other kids in the school, they almost looked up to her. And then she was little. Now, I don't know if people might not know it, but for me, Lisa Towns was height challenged. In other words, she wasn't very tall, but she was short enough to almost have been in a category of dwarfism or something like that. But she was, there was no challenge in it. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying she was real little. And it just made her cuter. And but Lisa Towns could be a hot bag of mess sometimes.
Right.
She didn't have a good spirit sometimes, or I guess she felt entitled to say anything she wanted to say, or to mouth off any way she wanted. I don't know where you are, Lisa Towns. I loved you, but I'm just saying. Because I didn't get it. I mean, I got it, but it was a thing. Now, as a brown skinned girl who was really tall for my age, so there I became doofus or whatever they want to call you when you're real tall. And then I had long braids that came down like twists, and that was a problem. A brown skinned girl with long hair. What you think you cute?
Yeah.
You think you that, and I wasn't hanging out on the stoop. I didn't get to do all of that neighborhood stuff. I had activities, and they picked me up in the car, and Daddy would take me to dance lesson or piano lesson or to the gig or to
yeah.
So now you really think you cute because you go places. Every time you walk out the door, you're dressed up, and when you're not dressed up, you got on a uniform. Oh, Catholic school girl. So I got that my entire life. I was bullied. You'll wait for the book. There's a lot of stuff folks don't know.
Okay, there you go. I can't wait to do that.
I didn't get to put it in a song like Mary J. Blige, but trust me, it was there. So I just say to be abused or ridiculed or whatever it is for being the opposite of what it was, damned if you did or damned if you didn't. But now what folks didn't know is on my father's side, and on my mother's side, but on my mother's side as well, a lot of my cousins was red bone to the bone with light eyes and the whole bit. And I'd be sitting back going, really? Okay. You know what I'm saying? But it's because we are a melting pot. We are a mixture. We're all brothers and sisters because we all, every nation and every race integrated. The white people, the European people, the Indians who weren't Indians, they were already here and had their own names. Why did they have to be Indians? Because y'all thought y'all were in India. Well, okay, I'm just saying. It's how it happened. But
and it's so funny because when I look at my family, I mean, anybody out there, we all know we come from white descent, and whether you like it or not, it is what it is. Hey, Dawn Michelle, what's going up? She says, hey, Bill, hi, Alyson. Also, like when I look at my father was light skinned, my mother was brown skinned, your complexion. And of course, I got caught in the middle of that. So on winter time, I'm lighter. Summertime, I'm darker. That's why, you can tease me about my emoji. You know what I'm saying?
That's not you, boo. That's not you.
But it's so funny.
I want you, and we're going to leave this alone. I want you to let your wife get with your emoji and make you look like who you look like. Because it has nothing to do with your complexion. That's just not what you look like.
But what's so funny? My boy hit me up and he was dogging me out. Yo, Allie, he was dogging me out. He was like, yo, who is that, dog? I said, yo, listen, I took the picture. Don't blame it on the phone. Don't blame it on me. But anyway,
that's the automated way. You have to go the manual way and go where you put everything in, and it says eye shape, eyebrow shape, nose shape, skin color, hair texture, hairstyle. You got to get it right because that's not you.
Yo, that's hilarious. Yo, for those who want to see that one day, I'm gonna try to post that emoji and send it out there. But everybody, just thank y'all for chiming in. We're waiting for Charlie for the party, Lenny Green. I think I'm gonna call him and put him on blast. He said to think, what's that? It said that to think. Oh yeah. But what's so funny now? We're gonna go a little ahead of the game because the bottom line is Alyson, we're gonna take it right back to the living room. You know what I'm saying? This is back to the living room. Dating, relationships. First and foremost, people out there, for transparency, I got married when I think I was 50 or maybe a little older, right? But what I'm exactly. But what I'm trying to say is that with things comes perception breeds reality. Thank God that Malika didn't deal with what the perception of Bill Foster was. She enhanced and she embraced me. Alyson, you're a lady in the industry. You have broken bread with God knows who, and you sat down with Yaya. You know what I'm saying? And I say Yaya like Yaya could be anybody from the dive bar, because you are a people's person. You and I hung out to the wee hours in the morning. We laughed, we joked, but we've
sat with kings and killers. Let's say that.
Absolutely. So, how hard is it for you? Yeah, you look good. How hard is it for you in your past, even now, to when a man approaches you? I mean, you could have got approached by women, but that is another whole conversation. But when a man approaches you and tries to talk to you, like for you, you have to have like a super sense because you're in the industry. Is he liking you because Alyson Williams, the songstress, or is he liking you because just Alley Cat? You know what I'm saying? Like, why is he liking you? How do you gauge that? How do you deal with that?
Well, first of all, I want to talk about the guys who, because I was Alyson Williams, never came to approach me because they had another perception or might have seen one side at that time. I have a friend of mine who will say to me, he says, Alyson, you really are a people person. I've seen you fall into a crowd of people. And he said, I just don't even understand how you do that, but you can just go into a crowd of people and just fall into them and come out okay. He said, I could never do that. And I'm sure that people might have been, or there might have been suitors who may have seen me in Alyson Williams mode, boom, boom, boom. But I'm a real regular girl, and I like real regular things. And I'm no different than any other, I think, female that enjoys being courted. But I think about the men who never said anything because they saw another persona or they perceived it. Or they thought like men think. I'm in the industry. I know women who are like this. They got men who have a woman in every port. There are women like that too. I didn't believe it until I saw it. But I could look at my male. There you go.
Yeah. I'm not going to tell you what we just had a conversation sidebar. We had a conversation sidebar.
And can you put him in the back room, in the dressing room? Can you put him in the green room, please?
I might put him back in the green. Yeah, listen, everybody. I'm not even going to tell you what my man told me sidebar, but I love him. Everybody, welcome one of my best friend, the Musketeers. My dude, I love you. I'm gonna get in your ass though. Real talk, later. But ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Quiet Storm, Lenny Green. Lenny, please tell him what platforms you are on. You are doing so much, and I know you're busy, brother. I know you chasing that check. That check is right in front of you, right there. You grabbing at it, right? Lenny Green, what's up, baby?
First of all, Alyson, put down your thumbs up, put down your heart, put all that down. That's that Drake fake love, right? First of all, Miss Alyson, I'm gonna push you to the side, bro. I know you want to put up another finger, Alyson, but you can't do that.
Right.
Brother Bill Foster, it is a pleasure and honor. Look, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to tell him my own self. I don't need nobody to tell me. I'm a grown man, so I don't need nobody to tell me, put me on the spot. I thought Real Talk was at 8 p.m. So I haven't had breakfast. I haven't had lunch. So I said, let me go out and get some lunch. I'm working remotely tonight from a different city. So at the end of the day, I was totally under the impression that this was an 8 p.m. thing. So I said, I got
Lenny, every show is about the same time.
Your mama taught you better. Your mama taught you better than this. Your mama taught you better than this. I know you were raised better than this. I got the floor. You'll have your turn. I got the floor right now.
Yo, listen, everybody, this is Real Talk. Atmosphere, right?
I had the floor before you popped in, and people around the world were wanting to know what I felt about my relationship situation how men just don't talk to me.
Stop. We're not in that part of the conversation yet. We're not. Alyson, I know you have a lot of things to do. I know you're trying to warp speed your co-hosting duties for the night, but we're not in that part of the conversation right now. All right, so let me just finish. Being so I came on late, let me just finish doing what I have to do. Shout out to everybody who's logged on. Thank you for checking out Real Talk Chronicles. Bill Foster, the creator of Real Talk Chronicles. Yes, I am a musketeer. We are missing one musketeer. Unfortunately, our brother Rand, he passed away years ago, but we're carrying the tradition of just friendship and brotherhood as time continues to move on. So I'm glad Bill, is continuing to do what he has to do, because I'm sure he told you the story many, many times about how this all came about.
Yes, absolutely. And what's so funny? It's a beautiful night tonight, and especially to be organic with you, of course, Lenny, and especially Alyson, who was there from the conception of Real Talk when we were cleaning out Mom's house, and we just started talking about who we were as children, and it transitioned to who we are as adults. But then it just manifested into relationships. So I say all that to say, like this, we're going a little old school with this. And people think just because I got married that I can't flip back. I can flip back in this. I ain't gonna get in trouble. I ain't gonna mess up my bed, but I can go old school with this anytime we can talk relationships. And this is what you do too, Lenny. Shout out to Indy. But Alyson and I, we can always flip back to this. And I say that, and shout out to everybody that's watching. Steph said, she said, Lenny, where's your silk shirt tonight? She's taking shots. Pew, pew, pew. You might have to talk about that.
Stefania?
Yes.
Well, Stefania, you didn't lay it out for me earlier last night, so that's
wow.
May I interject?
Absolutely.
I got my rant on Lenny, and I'm glad to see you here. I've been excited about this for so long, that knowing that we were coming together. And I just want to tell you, I laid it out for you if she didn't. I have my incense here. I have my candles here because I know how we do. And I have my...
Ooh! Uh-oh!
I got the gong going. I have all kinds of beautiful just topiaries and what have you. And I have my libation because I know how we are accustomed to doing it. Ever since I threw you out the back window at your very own studio at WBLS several years ago, when I transformed your Quiet Store platform into an oasis out of a shopping cart. But I don't want to really just have to. I just want to let you know, in your honor, I got these things together, and I want to say that I'm really excited to be here with you, and I love you.
I love you too, Alyson. Well, I do have an Alyson Williams story, Bill, and she may have said it to you earlier today before I came on. Once again, y'all, I apologize for coming on so late. I have much respect for Mr. Foster and what he does.
Oh, absolutely.
I just had a different time in my head.
We understand. You think everything revolves around.
Did she tell you when she came to the studio and turned my studio into a love boudoir?
No, go ahead, because I know the story, but maybe just give people a little brief synopsis of what happened, everybody out there. This is Real Talk Chronicles. That's Real Talk with Alyson Williams every third Monday of the month. And, of course, we got my special guest, my brother, Alyson, and our brother, Lenny Green from WBLS. He got different stations and sites, and he'll tell you all about that. Please support my brother. Listen to him, chime in into him. Right now, I don't know if he's in a Real Talk atmosphere. He looked like he's on the beach. I don't know. I'm waiting for somebody to bring him a pina colada or some shit.
And some wings. Pina colada and some wings. I got
exactly. Lick your finger. You know what I'm saying? Because you gonna make me go smoke a cigar in a minute. I'm gonna take this shit outside too. You know what I'm saying?
You really have to. You really should. You really should.
I'm going to. Go ahead. But I think it's about the rain here. It's about the rain. See, Alyson and I, we might be due with some storm coming. I don't know, Alyson. You might have to look out your window. I heard
it's already doing it. It's already.
Oh, okay. See, so yeah. So
it's damn near raining men outside.
Yeah. See.
Hey, look. We can't. In the words of Frankie Beverly, we can't enjoy, the sunshine if we don't get enough rain. So we need that rain.
Woo! All right now. All right, but I will.
I'm going to pan up so you kind of have an idea. I'm not telling you my location, but you kind of have an idea.
Wow. Okay.
So, like I said, I'm working tonight from on remote, on location. But look, no matter what.
Bill and I got the rain coming down. I
see
the clouds moving in while we were waiting for you.
Yeah, exactly.
We need that.
Tonight,
We need that.
Alyson, I hope that you are definitely going to dim the lights, because the lights are awfully bright, and I know you're doing a podcast right now, so you can't do that. But as I get a little deeper into this night. That rain is nothing but liquid sunshine. All you need to do is dim those lights. You say you have all the ingredients and elements of the quiet storm. So light a few more candles and just turn off the damn lights and do what you did in my studio. Alyson came to my studio when I was with 98.7 KISS, and I didn't know what the hell was going on. Real talk. I did not know what was going on. She had a whole truck full of items that we had to bring upstairs. One was and I may get it wrong, so bear with me, Alyson. One was it was this huge, it looked like a flower pot, right? But it was a candle. And you light the candle inside and it illuminates the flower pot.
It was three of them. They were.
I didn't get to how many you had, but I'm just saying what you brought. Then she brought chocolate-covered strawberries. You may have brought some grapes. She changed her outfit into into lingerie. Into lingerie. That's what I'm gonna say.
With a nice kimono. I was very tasteful. I had a nice kimono, but the shorty kimono and the marabou flat and the marabou.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So there's no.
Go ahead.
There's no question in my mind. She knows the art of romancing, and she creates the art.
Now, I want to go. I'm gonna segue into that because I'm glad you said that, because the topic was, Lenny, we talked before you got on. I don't know if you heard anything we were saying earlier, that we talked about how light skin, dark skin, has been a problematic for us in our relationships of people of color, just in our ethnicities. But now talking about, we were talking to Alyson about dating, the fact that she was Alyson Williams. And I'm going to ask you about this too, but this is old school, baby. We're going real talk. We're going to have real talk with Quiet Storm, Kissing After Dog with Alyson Williams, baby. So I say all that to say, Alyson was explaining how people were afraid to converse with her because she was Alyson Williams. And Alyson and I, just like you and I, we've sat down with kings and killers, So, Alyson, go ahead, elaborate on that, and then we're gonna let Lenny come on and piggyback off of what you were saying.
Oh well, I'll keep it short, and I'll be serious about it. Like I said, you said, how has it been as a female in the industry to not necessarily know if people are about you or about you, whether they're into you for the Alyson Williams celebrity aspect, or whether they're about you as Alyson Williams as a person, or whether they wonder if there is a person, so they might be a little turned off because they think that the celebrity is all there is. So I've had to fight all of those battles the entire time, and here I am. As you say, we're talking about being mature and dating. I just turned 60 last month.
Yes.
So I really don't have time for a lot of games, but I'm looking for something that is rooted in a realness. I look at you and Malika, and it gives me hope for the future that perhaps marriage could be in my game, or it could be, and I don't want to say game, it could be in my future, or at least a relationship that is rooted in a mutual. This is what we want in life. This is what we want to build in life, or we want to build something together. But it's certainly not about playing games and so on and so forth. So, for me, it's always been a struggle because I never, you never can tell who is there for you and who is there for the limelight, and who might be turned off because your light is so bright. And so and you know what's so funny? Something that you can pull away from that. I can pull away from that and look forward to those kinds of times when you can be with someone and it's away from all of that spotlight and what have you. So,
and let me just say this for anybody out there, real talk, transparency. Alyson has no problem sharing her world. But the bottom line is she knows she can share it with people that love her for whom she is, and not for the fictitious world that you think that you want to be a part of. I say all that to say, now, Lenny, you are also, as much as you and I have talked, you don't want that industry celebrity kind of energy, but you're a fixture. You're on the radio. People see your posters on the walls wherever you're syndicated around the world. Yeah. Exactly. You around the wall. You on the wall. You on the world. how do you deal with this now? Just full transparency, Alyson, I think for those that were listening, she said that she still would love to be in a monogamous, committed relationship. We're going to talk about how that is at dating in a mature state. Lenny, how do you deal with people dating Lenny Green for Lenny Green, the air personality, and not Lenny Green, Mama Green's son?
Well, everything that Alyson has shared with you a moment ago is same thing what myself and a lot of men go through in the business. Same problems. You want a person to accept you for who you are. You don't want a person who accepts you for what you do. And then you got to find out if they're real 100%. I don't know if anybody saw, I'm going to assume a few people saw what happened last Monday on the Wendy Williams show. And Bill, you're laughing, so obviously
Well, divulge for the audience. Real talk, baby. This is real talk.
I missed it. I don't know if I saw it.
Oh, good. So I will not go over it. Anyway, so the bottom line is, I don't consider myself to be a celebrity. Alyson.
Get up, Alyson.
Alyson. No, hold on. I don't. That's the bottom line. That's real talk. I don't consider myself. I can't say what people consider me to be.
Right.
But me speaking for me, and I'm the best person to speak of me.
Absolutely.
I don't consider myself to be a celebrity. I am in the public, so I consider myself to be a public figure. I'm not in every household, but I'm grateful for what the gifts God has given me. And having said that, He's given me a gift to serve a purpose. I am living in my purpose. There's no question about that. However, it is challenging dating, at least for me. I can't say for all men in this business, but for me. And it's hard. I just recently, by talking to a few relationship coaches, they had advised me on many occasions, Lenny, get on a dating site. And I'm like, if I get on a dating site, I'm going to be honest with you, I'm going to lie. I'm telling you straight up right now, I'm going to lie.
Starting with your name, I get it.
You get it. But for those who don't get it and say, well, why would you lie? That kind of paints a certain picture of you. Well, you don't know my life, so you don't walk in my shoes. So I would expect you to say that. But for those of you who have an idea what I'm talking about, again, going back to what I initially said, I think it's about simply finding a person who's real, which is very rare today, whether you're in our business or you just doing a regular 9-to-5 in an office. It's very rare. And I'm not talking to one person, 2 people to have challenges in relationships. You want just a person to accept you for who you are, and you want that person to come a certain way. Not saying that you're bougie, not saying that you have high expectations, but we do have an expectation to a small degree.
Okay, so let me ask you a question.
I'm not looking for perfect because there's no perfect.
No, nobody is done, and nobody will find that. So let me ask you a question. When Lenny meets a young lady, or Lenny has an interest in a young lady, shout out to Ramon Jackson from calling in from YouTube. I see you. And shout out to everybody that's chiming in from wherever you are. So when Lenny meets somebody that piques his interest, and give us a step, because I know, like you and I have talked about stuff. I don't know B, I don't know this, I get it, but just if somebody's out there listening and they like you, like what would you like them to do to show you that they like Lenny Green the man and not Lenny Green the business?
I think the best way to show me would be to be who you naturally are. I like down to earth people. I vibe well with down to earth individuals. That's the bottom line. If you're a woman who's down to earth and you're spiritual, 2 of the most important qualities for me: spirituality and a real natural, nothing flamboyant, nothing, no kind of facades. Obviously, I need you to be also, or like for you to be, career driven. I need you to have a purpose in life. I'm blessed to have found my purpose. Have you found your purpose? Are you working towards bettering your purpose? Are you working towards enhancing your life, your career? I'm all for supporting that. I love to support. If I'm in a relationship with someone, I believe in supporting that person. As in 2, and Alyson can relate to this, I would need that support as well. This industry that we're in It's challenging, it's depressing, and you need somebody to be there to embrace you, to pick you up, to encourage you. I think we all need encouragement, no matter what business you're in, because life, especially as people of color, life has been very, very challenging for all of us. So you want that soulmate, or better yet, infinite flame. And for those of you who don't know about infinite flames, I want that to be your homework assignment for tonight, and find out what kind of characteristics are you looking for in your infinite flame. And also, I think it's important for you to know something about the person's love language. Love languages are important. There's 5 love languages, depending on what version you might look at. There's 5 love languages, and I think it's great for not only single people, but I think it's good for married people as well, like you and Malika, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you have a connection with what you know that person likes and what that person kind of expects. So if you want a person who's affectionate, why would you be with somebody who's not affectionate? Because obviously your personal love language is personal touch. So if you like gifts, flamboyant things, then find a person who likes to spend that kind of money. And that way, at least that area is covered. So going back to what I want, those are the 3 main things, or 4 main things that I listed that I look for. And hopefully we'll have one day. Just as Alyson, I'm always prayerful. Yesterday was Father's Day. God is with me more than one day out of a year. He's with me every second of my life. And if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have gotten this far in my life, in my career, or anything that I have done. So I put my trust, I put my belief, I put my hope, I put my wishes on his table, and whatever he feels I'm deserving of will manifest.
That's awesome. Let me ask you a question. What are Lenny Green's, and I'm gonna ask Alyson this question later too. What are Lenny Green's some of his love languages?
Personal touch, words of affirmation, because I think that's important.
You don't have to give me 5. You can give me 2. I was just asking.
Those are the top 2: personal touch and words of affirmation.
Okay, and let me ask you a question right now. Is it fair to say, since we're talking about relationships, is it fair to say that Lenny Green would love to be in and I use the word love, would like to be in a relationship, a significant other, somebody that he could build with? If you're not now, I don't know. I mean, I don't want to speak.
Here's the situation. Yes, to answer your question immediately, yes. The question: can the person deal with my lifestyle right now? As you know, Bill, Alyson, I think you've realized over the last 2.5 years, God opened up a greater opportunity for me to expand my territory. And I'll say this because it's kind of cliche, but it's really real. When you pray for something, expect God to bless you with it.
That's what
Don't complain. Do not complain if you get that blessing. Because if you get that blessing and then you start complaining, well, how would you think that would look? How would you think that would sound like? How would you think that would feel? So I've asked God for years to expand my territory, and God has definitely expanded my territory, where I'm working between 2 cities right now. So I'm in Miami and I'm in New York, and I would need a person to be able to handle that lifestyle. Not to say that we would be separated, because if need be, I'll just have to fly you down, providing you can do that. But it's a very challenging lifestyle to deal with. And I have yet to finish. I have yet to visit the other affiliate markets that I'm in just yet, because of COVID. It kind of put a dampener on everything, so I wasn't able to do that. So at this stage of the game right now, it's just dealing with New York and Miami. But eventually, I'll have to make market visits to other cities around the country. So I would love for her to be a part of that, if she could. And if she can't, I understand that as well, because I want her to continue doing her thing. So it's about finding a person who can balance and understand my lifestyle, and hopefully I can understand hers.
And you know what's so funny? I'm going to come to you, Alyson, but let me just say this in full transparency. This is the reason why Malika and I got together, because she accepted me for who I was and I accepted her for who she was. The beautiful thing about her is that she wasn't from New York, so she didn't come with the negativity that people try to spew out in her world. And I could only know, from me being a local individual that had a name and had some kind of figure status, to you two that have world acclaim. So I know what people can say about you or try to say about you. Then with that being said, the beautiful thing about it is that when Malika and I got together, we got together understanding each other's careers. We got together understanding what each other wanted and didn't want and how we wanted it. And you know, dating at a mature age is totally different at a young, because what if not that I couldn't have been a good husband then, but I also know back then I don't know what I know now. So I would have failed.
Your
because
values are different.
Absolutely, Alyson. Absolutely. And with that being said, Alyson, give me some of your love languages, and then I'll go on to my next question for you two. Go ahead.
Well, first of all, let me just tell you this.
Mm-hmm.
Lenny Green has always been a secret crush. He knows. I tried to date Lenny Green, but we found out that we could be running buddies so much harder. We had a running buddy thing that was so much harder than the love connection. Still, but this is how I knew. This is how I knew that I could love Lenny Green. He loved his mother, and I knew his mother.
Absolutely.
I had a relationship with his mom. His mom, as many women that he would be around, not that he always had women around, they were always around, not that he often brought them, but just by nature of what we do. But she knew me. She knew me specifically.
Absolutely.
And so a man who knows how to take care of his mother is that kind of man for me.
Absolutely.
I'm not saying, and this is different than what people try to put a negative connotation, say somebody's a mama's boy. Not at all. But he knows, this is what Lenny Green knows. He might be looking for physical touch and attachment, you know, and also words of affirmation, but he wants a lady. And he knows that because his mother was a quintessential lady, and that's what he's looking for. So, and it's hard to find those. So, having said that, Lenny, just so you know, I know who you are. I know the kind of man that you are, and I know the kind of caliber of the man that you are. I will say that the kind of man, like for instance, for me, and as Lenny said, in this industry, you have to have somebody that really knows how to take themselves out and be open-minded. Lenny can't be in Miami with a girl in New York who's wondering if there's 15 chicks. She can't be that. You know what I'm saying? It just can't be that. I can't be with a man, and I know I have engagements, and he's like, I'm just gonna stay at the hotel. Well, yeah, sometimes you might not want to go, but this is what I do. And success, as Billy D. Williams says, is nothing without someone to share it with. So you want somebody to share these experiences. Every place I've ever been on the globe, I want to go back to and share it with somebody. Not that I didn't have great bandmates and my brothers and sisters, my extended musical family, but all of them had something. It was like, okay, we'll meet in the lobby in 20 minutes. I got to go upstairs to call my wife. I got to go upstairs to talk to my kids. I might not go out tonight. They all had something to do. And I remember being on the road and feeling that way and always feeling like I had no one. Or I was just on my own. And that's a horrible way to feel. And you're footing the whole bill. But that was what I asked for. That's my lifestyle. That's what it is. And it's always been very difficult to find someone who is willing to. They don't have to be in show business. They don't have to be in the Alyson Williams business. But you must support, like Lenny said, be willing to support someone and understand. They could work for IBM. They could work for whatever. But I have to know that every once in a while I've got to go to a cocktail sip, or to an awards dinner, or be a part of that, or know what it is. I always said to myself, I don't know a lot about sports, but if I got with someone in the sports arena, I'd learn that, so I'd understand and be able to be a part of it.
And you know what's so funny that you say that, Alyson and Lenny, because I think it's paramount to understand. When you want to do something, it's a beautiful thing. The bottom line is you two have to date. I mean, we don't want to date anybody that has insecurities that affect our career. Because Lenny, you can't do what you, and Alyson, you can't do what you do, and you got somebody in the background or somebody that just got off the phone with you talking about who's that and why is that? And you're like, whoa. You know what I'm saying?
Trust to begin with.
Right.
Trust that to be the root of it. whether you're in the industry or out of the industry. Trust has, because you could be walking down the street at the post office, and you got somebody who's wondering who you messing with at the post office. Trust has got to be the root of the relationship.
Yes.
And once there's trust, then you can go forward and build. That's a foundation. Yeah. Trust is a foundation.
Now let me ask you two a question, and I can only keep it real talk and keep it personal. Malika had a career. I had a career. It was beautiful to converse about our careers with each other and to be supportive. Like, yo, do you like you know, you got an art gallery. You're a corporate woman. You know, I was doing law enforcement promotionals. I had other things, you know, embarking on speaking engagements and things of that magnitude. Shout out to Uncle Willie in the building.
Uncle Willie!
Yeah, so shout out to him, because we have a saying that we're not trying to build a Negro, right? The bottom line is, as much as you two are trying to put food on your table, the last thing is that you need somebody that's trying to ride off your back and come up off of what you're doing. Because if they're trying to do that, then they're pulling you more than pushing you. Now, don't get me wrong. What we do, we're not trying to say that, and I'm being transparent. I'm not trying to say that you can't have certain levels to this relationship game, right? At one time, somebody might be here, you might be here, but what we're building is steps. But the one thing is, I personally didn't want somebody that I'm building and I'm doing what I'm doing, and they home talking about the soap operas. I didn't want that person. You know what I'm saying? So, Lenny, let's talk about that, because, and Alyson, you two talk about that, because you two are when I use the word hustlers with affection. Like, your business is being in the limelight. Like Alyson, you said you got to go places, and you might want somebody to come with you to a black tie affair. Lenny, you might have do things. You have like dual status, you know, dual residency sometimes. Like, yo, babe, I have to be here. You can come here if you want to. You can't come here, you know, or you know, it's up to you. How do you do with the person that has the insecurity, if you're willing to deal with that?
You don't. I don't deal with that, and I haven't. And I have made a choice to be by myself because of that. And that is the issue. Do you know what I'm saying? Everybody, you know, we give a lot. Lenny Green is so syndicated. He's in the syndicate now. He's like he got so much going on. He's dodging the feds. He's all of that. All of that. So I'm just saying, he's got a lot on his plate.
Yo, Allie, he's like this.
I know.
I'm outside, so I don't want to get hit by a car. I don't want you to witness this camera.
Why would he want to bring that kind of pressure on top of that? It's just something. It can't be. Not at this point in time. I'm sure we've all dealt with it in the past. I know I've had cuckoo crazy in my life and tried to call it a relationship, but you know, I was looking for something. I was trying to make it be what I wanted it to be. Now I know I can't make it be. It has to become, or it is destined to be. That insecurity thing, it's not going to work. Yes, we might. Our significant others might not always want to be under the same light, or might not always want to do what we got to do. But there's a compromise. There's a give and take. Do you know what I'm saying? I've always, now me personally, I'm the power couple girl. I want to be with a significant other that he does his thing and I do my thing. But when Allie and whatever we're going to call him, CC, you know, if Allie and CC say they doing something, we going. Oh, we know it's going to be laid out, because these two personalities, these two people come together, and whatever they do from a place of truth, and they do from a place of excellence. So I always wanted that. I always wanted to be able to share that, and because I got enough drama. My life and what I do, what I've been gifted to do, already provides all the drama and all the changing and all the, you know, it can be very frivolous sometimes and just in flux. But if I can turn around and just look over there and look at that face is the place that brings me back to one. That's the place that resets me and reboots me. And if I got that rock, then I'm good. Then I'm good.
Lenny,
and that's
awesome.
what I look for in a relationship. I look for somebody, and I want to be that rock for somebody else too, because I can step away from my crazy hectic and help them to be a little more centered, or to know that it's going to be all right, and all of those things.
And you know what's so funny in speaking of that, and I'm gonna bring you in, Lenny. Speaking of that, I've talked to both of you when you've been on the road, you've been busy, you like your life has been hectic. But as a friend, I can understand it. You'd be like, yo, I gotta go. I'm about to get on the plane, or I gotta go. I gotta tape this. I gotta do that. Okay, cool. And even if you don't call me back, I'd be like, all right, let me reach back out to them. But a relationship may not understand that, and you have to, I mean, you have to do your due diligence in the relationship. I'm sure you would call somebody back, where a friend would be like, I got it. You didn't call me back. But a relationship, you would want to speak to that person. Go ahead, Lenny.
I'm the girl who wants this. Regardless of what I'm doing, I want to talk to you before I go to bed. Or maybe I want to just sit up and we can watch Law and Order. You're in another city, I'm in another city, but the TVs are doing it. And we just sit there on the phone. What you doing? So.
Right.
Oh, snap. And we just do that for a couple of hours. That works for me, because I know that when we get together, the distance will bring us closer. But we do communicate. You know what I'm saying? I might not talk to you at 9, or I'm not an early morning person unless there's an airport run. But every time I get moving in the morning, I don't need to necessarily hear from you. But if you call me, I want to know that your day is going okay. But we will talk that day. So, you know what I'm saying? Those are the kind of things that work for me. But it's different for everybody. But once again, it's all rooted in trust and understanding and communication. You gotta communicate. These things. If I got somebody who I really need them to call me and they don't, I'm gonna be salty.
Yeah, absolutely. So Lenny, what's your take? No, I was telling Lenny. I was going to ask Lenny after you finish. I was going to ask Lenny, like what we talked about the 5 love languages, but go ahead. I mean, go ahead.
I kind of lost some thought along the way, but the only thing I'll pick up on this, I don't deal with jealous, insecurities is not going to work with me. If I'm in a relationship, now I'm committed to the relationship wholeheartedly, and I would like to hope that the person knows that and feels that. I got to be honest with you, man. I'm doing 2 separate shows, and sometimes I'm recording on both shows, and at the end of my shift, which ends every night an hour later than New York, when I'm in Miami, my show goes to 1 o'clock in the morning. When I'm in New York, not even in New York. When one show goes from 7 to midnight, and the other show goes from 8 p.m. to 1 o'clock in the morning. Sometimes by the time I get off the air, after having worked all day and waking up at 6 o'clock to prep for things and record for certain things, I may not be the greatest person. I'm gonna be honest with you for a conversation.
So let me ask you a question, Lenny. Let me ask you this, and since I know you lost your train of thought, because when we start conversing, it gets good. Do you think you're really made for a relationship, though?
150,000%.
Okay, elaborate, please.
I'm built for one. Love was important to my life just because. Mm-hmm. Love was important in my life just to give to people. Love was important into my life for a purpose in life. Just as I'm serving in my purpose in my career,
yes,
I'm serving whenever the love comes along, I'm serving that purpose in that relationship. When a person decides to get into a relationship, the first thing I think they need to remember is they have to make some time for quality time, which is another love language. Quality time is important, and I get that. So presently at this second, in this hour, on this day, I am not in a relationship. But should tomorrow come along and I'm in a relationship, I realize before I commit to doing the relationship, hear me clearly now, that I have to make some I have to make some adjustments in my life for that relationship.
And now stay with me, and I want you two to both comment on this. We have a mutual friend in the industry, and I was talking to him about, one day we were talking about relationships and stuff, and he was just having a bad place. And he was just saying to me that I know it's me. it's my lifestyle that is causing conflict in what he wants, right? Now, totally different than you two. And when I say, because in this industry that we've all played in, and I say I'm a small part of this industry because I may have been the event planner in lieu of the performer, the air personality, or somebody else doing whatever they do in this industry. But I've been able to smell and see that lane. But what I was trying to say is that in talking to this person, he was just saying, and Alyson, you said something that made me think about it. You was like, I'm not a morning person. And he was saying, like, I sleep, I'm a night person. I sleep all day. And then, I get up at 4:00 and I'm like, okay. And then he was supposed to do something and somebody he was supposed to do it with didn't hear from him for 24 hours. And she was mad that, like, yo, wait a minute. You asked me to do something with you at a certain time. And then, we talked at 8:00 at night, and then I don't hear from you until 9:00, 10:00 the next night. Like, what are you doing? So I see that's crazy. It's understandable, but it's hard for business. You understand what I'm saying? Because like I'm like, go ahead, Lenny, go please.
I just want to interject on that point before it gets away. Again, going back to what I just said, you have to, not you should, not I'll think about it. You have to make some quality time in a relationship. Otherwise, for anybody who's playing around, you're playing around, and you shouldn't be committed to one person. You shouldn't be committed to one particular relationship because you don't have time to do that. Now, you might say, well, you have a lot to say because you don't have time. Like I said, I'm not in a relationship at the moment, so I'm single. But I would have to find some time. We would have to work out something to how this could work effectively. And because she may not be able to travel, whoever she might be, to Miami as often if she's in New York. But one thing I can't do, I can't deal with a long distance relationship. Very hard dealing with long distance relationship for me. Alyson may be cool with it because, she's stationary, but she also moves around. I can't. So I need somebody who's a little more flexible. I need somebody who can travel a little bit. Not a lot.
So let me go there with you. And Alyson, of course, you can always chime in whenever you feel free. You have your business, and I'll just say your business, not to reiterate everything what you have to do or what you're doing right now. But the bottom line is, say you meet somebody that's working 9 to 5, Lenny, all the time, and their only time is their weekend. So what you're asking and hoping is that on certain weekends, maybe every other weekend, that they could travel to you if you're not in New York City, correct? Is that basically what I'm hearing? Did you hear the question, LG?
Are you talking to me?
Yes.
Oh, I thought you were talking to Alyson.
No,
I get to chime in after you finish.
Yeah.
Oh, so the question was, I'm sorry, I thought you were talking to Alyson, so I kind of.
No, so basically I was just saying that the fact that you just said that you can't you need somebody to be able to be flexible on their schedule.
A little.
Yes, a little. So what I'm trying to say is that, long distance, we get it. But the thing is, you would need somebody maybe that works 9 to 5 to say, okay, I'm not coming to New York this weekend for 2 weekends. Can you come to where I'm at for 1 weekend just to see me, hypothetically? Is that fair to say?
Yeah, if she could, I'll fly her down.
Yeah. Right. I wasn't even talking about who spent for it, but that's a real G. But go ahead.
Look, again, my life is a little interesting right now. So the reality is reality, and to keep it real, I would have to make provisions if I want to see it. To ask somebody to do something. First of all, forget about my world. If you're in New York and you met somebody in North Carolina or you met somebody in Chicago, dealing with long distance relationships is very interesting, and only a selective amount of people can handle them. A lot of people can't. Some people can deal with the distance away. Some people can deal with distance away in the same damn house. I've talked to couples who have 2 separate bedrooms and they sleep in their bedrooms, which is ludicrous to me. That's called you may want to cover this, Bill, one night. Sleep divorce. Sleep
Really?
divorce.
Really?
Really. Research that. Sleep divorce.
Now, let me tell you something. I would love to converse on that, have a conversation on that, because the bottom line is, I think the older we get, that it is imperative to have 2 different rooms in case
to sleep in.
No, listen to what I'm trying to say. We can pick it up, because the bottom line is, if I don't have to get up early and Malika has to be up at 6 o'clock in the morning, there's no reason why we have to sleep together if I don't have to get up. Now, listen what I'm trying to say. See, the bottom line is, you come home, you work the night shift, you work the evening shift. Correct me if I'm wrong. Your wife, the love of your life, whomever you're dating, has to be up at 6 o'clock in the morning or 5 o'clock in the morning to leave. Say she's a nurse. She has to be to work at 6 o'clock, right? She has to get up at 4:30, 5 o'clock. You come in at 1 o'clock, 1:30 in the morning, close to 2 o'clock. Shame on you to go slide in that bed and wake her up. And then she has to get up in 3 hours or 4 hours. So the bottom line is, say you come home and you want to Lenny, right? You want to watch TV for a minute because you're coming home. You want to watch TV. You want to sit there and you want to have a little cocktail. You want to call Bill. You want to call Alyson. You want to talk because we're up. Hypothetically, I'm just saying. Usually people talk to people around those hours and those shifts or whatever. The fact that you go to bed at that time, just because you're married doesn't mean, and see, I thought about that when I was 20. 20-year-old people, I felt like, yo, we got to watch the same TV program. We got to watch TV together. We got to do that. At 50 years old, and whatever, in Malika's age, we ain't got to do that shit. If she wants to watch something, she can go in another room. I want to go ahead, Alyson.
Goes back to what I said about communication and knowing who you're dealing with. I think, if you're blessed enough to have a space that you live in and has an extra room, hallelujah. Okay? Unless you're living in that good tissue box in New York. I'm just saying, it is what it is. But I think that, I think what I was thinking with Bill is like, you don't want to slide into that place where you get so used to getting away from the other person for whatever reason that then you're not mindful of the fact of making. And I'll go back to 15 minutes ago when he said the key word, you must make time for quality time.
Right.
Time. So here I am, I'm on the road, and my significant other is doing whatever they do. And I know that they got a long business day and I don't hear from them till the next day. But what is he going to do? He's going to make sure that he does call as soon as he can. Or if he is in a position to try to do something special, I might get a fruit arrangement. He knows I'm on the road. You know what I'm saying? He don't gotta send me flowers, but he understands it's been 2 days and I've been running crazy and she ain't been blowing up my phone. She knows what I gotta do. And I do the same thing. Women are the only ones that receive things. You can get a cigar. I know how to do that. There's a 1-800 number for that, but you have to make the time and make the thing happen. You know what I'm saying? You gotta make.
Well, the one thing that I know about you two, and that's why me personally, and I'm saying this, that I would love to see you two with somebody, because I know you two are givers. You two are nurturers. You two love. Like you believe.
We just gonna date each other. We figured it out. Let me what you think. No, still.
All right, Lenny. Exactly. But you know what's so funny? We can even talk about that. Yeah, but you can also talk about that too, because is it harder to date somebody in this field than it's not? But going back to what I was trying to say, but going back to what we were talking about in relationships, that I'm a firm believer what both of you two had just said, that if you want something, you're gonna do it. You know what I'm saying?
That's moderation. You know that I hear what you're saying, and well, there's a couple of things. One, unfortunately, my battery's going to die. Two, the mosquitoes are killing me right now.
Oh, I've been seeing you go like this the whole time.
Yeah, I'm like.
I thought you was auditioning for Jason, the black version of Jason Bourne or something. I just thought you was ducking and dodging.
Yeah, trust me, I'd love to do that version. I would need you to teach me martial arts.
I got you, baby. I got you.
Let me just modify. What you just said just a moment. Yes. And I have to choose my words carefully.
It's real talk. It's not kissing after dog. You can say what you want to say on this one, baby.
Yeah, but people take it strong. So at the end of the day, what I will say though is, if time allows, my time is precious. I respect people's time, and that's why I apologize, pathetically in the beginning, because time is important. So there has to be wiggle room. Because I hear women say sometimes, well, a man's going to do what he wants to do. I may want to do it, but my time or my schedule or this lifestyle that I'm in at the moment is not providing me the opportunity to do it. Doesn't mean that I want to do it. So I kind of get a little frustrated when I hear someone negatively speak about, when they say, well, a man's going to do what he's going to do. That kind of irks my left ear on my back of my neck, because that's not always the case. I think a woman needs to further investigate that and judge every man differently. Don't generalize us. Ladies, I don't think you want to be generalized. Me as a man, I can't speak for Bill. I don't want to be generalized either, because I'm unique. I'm just me. And you need to understand me in order for you to make a statement so strong. So
let me just interject real quick. I hated when somebody said, if you were a man, or a real man would do this, because let me tell you something. Each man dating a different woman is totally different. Let me tell you something. Somebody dating Alyson is not the same person dating Malika, or the same person dating whomever, another person. A woman dating you is not the same woman dating me. So, you know what I'm saying? I get what you're saying, bro. I really get what you're saying when it comes to that.
I had a question, Lenny, because I don't want your phone to die and I don't get this information.
Lenny should go somewhere and charge up, because if he thought the show was at 8:00, he should have a battery somewhere.
I bought my charger with me, but it's in the car, and I can't go to the car.
Well, okay, all right.
That would take another half an hour. I probably live 25 minutes to walk.
Yo, tell the fellas I said what's up, man.
I will tell them.
Yeah. But hold on with us until as long as you can. But go ahead, Allie. Go ahead.
I have a piece of paper and a pen here, which I always have. And I want to know what the 5 languages are.
The love language, Alyson, I think that should be your homework assignment for tonight.
Pardon me? I'm trying to get it. I got a piece of paper and pencil. What I need for
I know. Okay,
T-shirt.
Please forgive me, because again, it's hard to remember when you're getting bit by mosquitoes.
Okay.
Personal touch, gifts, quality time, no. Oh my God, I can't remember the other 2. But personal touch, gifts, quality time. Personal touch, quality time. I can't remember the remaining 2.
Well,
but
if you go on Google, you'll text them to me, please.
No. See, that's not how you learn. We learn by doing the activity. So your homework assignment.
No, what I'm saying is, when you get the other 2, you gotta text them to me so I can do
No.
them.
I just simply want you to do this, Alyson. You see how difficult she is right now, Alyson.
I
called you up on your birthday. Did I not?
Not only did you call me up and put me on the air, and of all the people you could have called on the
How
air,
much love is that? How much love is that? How much love is that? How much love? That's love. Bill, when's the last time you heard Alyson when you shout me out at a concert?
Wow. Body blows. Oh my God.
What did he say?
He said, when's the last time you heard Alyson shout me out at one of her concerts? Oh my God.
When's the last time Alyson had a concert?
Untrue. But I'm gonna let you live. I'm gonna let you live in that lane. No problem.
Look it up. Okay, I got a chance to fix it.
But no, now Alyson, no. If you simply put in Google 5 love languages, it's gonna pop right up.
So Lenny, before you fade to black on us, and I'm gonna try to hold you as long as I can until you get somewhere. I know you're multitasking, and I appreciate you for chiming in. Everybody, that's Lenny Green, and I want you to tell people where they can hear you at and how they can find you. But what I'm trying to think is, how much do you believe in the 5 love languages? And what I'm trying to say is that me personally, Malika and I got together due to transparency. We got together because I think it was you that said it, or Alyson. Somebody said something about what they wanted. I asked God. I said, "Yo, I was looking and I was searching, trying to be in a relationship and trying to find someone. I always put out there in the universe, I want somebody, but I was trying to handle it. So I said, you know what? This shit is bigger than me. I said, so let me put it in God's hand, because I sure was dropping the ball with it. I was failing. So when I put it in God's hand, he brought Malika to me. And then I had to understand, was I ready to accept what I asked for? And then I embarked on that career. So that's why Alyson can say what she said about, yo, Malika and I give us hope. You know, you can always say, yo, I'm happy for you. You understand what I'm saying? Because the bottom line is, you've seen the transformation. You know, both of you have. You know the bill. You know what I'm saying, Lenny? You seen me dancing on the speakers. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, man, look, Bill, keep it real. If you didn't transform, I was going to help transform you. So you had no choice, brother. I mean, you really didn't. I mean, if your circle is real around you and not trying to kiss your ass, I'm not your ass kisser. I'm going to keep it real with you as a brother. You're not my ass kisser. It's just that simple. I'm going to pull your coattail because I know what kind of fabric you come from in terms of your parents.
Absolutely.
So for you, I'm going to be real. For you to fuck up like that, once you committed, now you're a reflection of me. And the reason why I say you're a reflection of me, because we all, last time I checked, y'all tell me if I'm wrong, I never saw pigeons fly with eagles. And when you tell me that you have seen it, then I'll shut up.
No, you don't have to, because I'm an eagle. We all eagles. We all flying high. And that's why it doesn't take a conversation on today. And if we don't speak to each other for 3 months, that there's two with it. There's no problem, because we understand that everybody is surviving and we're soaring.
Right. But see,
we're doing more than surviving. We're thriving.
Absolutely. Go ahead.
But here's my other point of the sentence, and that is, see, your significant other in your life is going to look at your friends. If you want to see how a person really is, look at their circle.
Right.
Yep, that small circle of friends. And Bill, I would have fell into that circle. That's why I said, if you didn't transform, I was going to try to help you transform. I mean, you can't make a horse drink water. I understand what I'm saying, of course. Right. But your reflection now becomes how a person is. Well, okay, well, how's this dude Lenny Green? I hear him talk about Lenny Green all the time. I hear him talking about Tony. I hear him talk about this guy. Well, how are they? Because how they are, it tells me how this guy is.
Absolutely. Listen, let me tell you something. I never forget one time, and Alyson, of course, chime in anytime you're ready. I never forget. Malika and I would tease each other, because if we would go someplace, especially me, if I would go into Harlem without her, the first thing somebody would say, well, where's Malika? How's Malika? I didn't see Malika. Is she coming? How's Malika? Right. And I used to tease her. I'd be like, yo, we're a fixture now. And to understand that we were both individuals. And, you know, Malika, one day, if she could talk more about how it was immersing herself into the New York world in comparison to me now immersing myself into the PA world. It's totally different. I think it was easier transition for me because of the pandemic. But when she came, she was at the height of the whole hoopla. But I say all that to say, when it talks about love and relationships, and I say this with all transparency to everybody, if you don't want to be there, it's not going to work. I say this, as the mature you become, two things can happen. You can understand the maturity of a relationship and what you need to do to make it work, or your maturity, or no, your age can backfire on you, because you could be so immersed in who you are that you're not willing to work on that. Alyson, you want to talk about that before Lenny?
Before Alyson, before you chime in, Don't kill me, guys, but I'm down to 6%.
All right,
so,
go ahead.
But again, I apologize for coming on so late today. Please forgive me. I owe you one on Bill. I owe you one on this. Alyson, you know I love you immensely. Bill, I love you tremendously.
Lenny, before you go, tell everybody where they can hear you, listen to you. I know you'll come back. Everybody, that's my brother. That's my musketeer. That's Alyson's brother. That's Lenny Green for different stations. Lenny, just tell them where they can hear you and find you at, please.
If you're in the tri-state of New York, you can check me out Monday through Sunday. They added an extra day. Sunday through Thursdays, 7 p.m. to midnight. 107.5 WBLS, or go to WBLS.com. If you're not in New York, you can always listen to the show. If you're in Miami, I'm on 6 days a week from 8 p.m. to 1 on Hot 105. Because we have been breached, you can't listen to us online. So if you're visiting Miami, hey, give your boy a shout out. Follow me on Instagram, Facebook at Lenny Green, and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Lenny Green QS. I put up a few videos that you may not have seen. You've heard anything from actress Jennifer Lewis, from Blackish to Blair Underwood. It's a host of folks that I've posted up. So check that out whenever you get a chance.
So we're waiting for Alyson Williams and Bill Forster to be posted. But how about this? If somebody
if you send me this video, I'm posting it up. Yes,
it's on YouTube, brother. You just go get it and snatch it. So let me ask you a question: if somebody likes Lenny Green and they're serious about dating Lenny Green,
they have to come through Bill Forster,
and that's all right. Listen,
right. So get in contact with Bill Forster.
I'll buffer all the crazies. You know, I didn't have your back.
I know you will, brother. That's why I just gave you the.
We gotta turn it into Real Talk, the dating series.
We're gonna start that. We're gonna start that.
Dating Chronicles. Lenny, thank you so much for my wonderful, wonderful birthday shout out and my
I love you.
Love you. Show me. You know how we do. I
know how we do it. I love you, Alyson Williams.
Find love and me to find love, and we all go on a triple date with Malika and Bill and you and me and you and your significant and me and mine, and we get it and have some good food and
let's
drink.
Make it happen.
That's what I want to do.
Let's make it happen. I'm down for making it happen. I love you guys.
Hey, Lenny, before you go, hold on. Your sister want to say hi.
Hey, Lenny.
How you feeling?
I'm wonderful. I'm down there eating popcorn. Like, oh, this is a good show. I like this.
Oh my God. Okay. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed the popcorn.
Lenny, be careful. Alyson and I will finish it out for a minute. Enjoy yourself. Tell the brothers I said what's up. Be careful.
I will.
All right.
Love you, man.
Real talk. Love you, man.
Be careful.
Alyson, I will. Just call my name, Alyson, anytime.
Wow. That's what's up. So, Alyson, let me ask you a question.
Yes, baby.
People like yourself, Lenny, can always say they're ready to date. They want to date. How do you commit? And maybe commit is the wrong word. How do you make yourself accessible to date? Because the bottom line is, do you want to date the person that just listen to you sing? Not that he may not be attractive, because he could be there he could really be a fan of Alyson Williams. And now the allure, like, oh, wow, like, damn, there she is. Because let me tell you something, everybody that's listening in Real Talk Land. If you ever seen Alyson perform, you'll get a crush. You'll get a little musical crush on her. Because when she start kicking and standing back and getting in and scatting and shit, you be like, I'm glad. I remember we was at the Sugar Bar and she was like, yo, what song do you want to hear? And I just shout out. She said, Bill, I got you later. And I was family. So I say all that to say, how do you...
The best commercial anybody ever did for me. You just threw your hands in the air like, wow.
Yo, listen, I told you. No, and you know what's so funny? You're so right about that because, like I tell Melba, like, you can't be a better fan than somebody that loves you. You understand what I'm saying? Like with somebody that really loves you for whom you are, you can't be a better fan. I don't care what people say. Oh, I love Alyson. You don't love her more than me because you don't know her.
You don't love her.
You don't love her. You like her. You love what you hear. I know the person because I know Alyson will come over and help me clean out a cabinet. You know what I'm saying? And tie her hair up and we'll throw away these old dated cans. You know what I'm saying? So I get that. So I know
we sweeps and mops together.
Yes. So I say all that to say that I know it's hard. So like, how do you gauge the like? Okay. Give me the Alyson signs of.
It's like you said, the most important thing you said is that a person has to want to. You know what I'm saying? You can't be brave until you're challenged with fear. So if you have even just that little bit of fear that says, I don't know if I can approach her. I don't know if she has a certain predestined kind of thing that she has for men, or whatever the case may be, or whether she's gonna, men are very sensitive. Men are very sensitive, and they're very sensitive to a lot of different things. And you have to be.
And real talk, I think men are more sensitive than women sometimes.
Absolutely, especially when it comes to what they might perceive as rejection. Let's find another word for rejection. It's not rejection. Rejection is like, oh, my life is over. Right. It's not. It's maybe you're not really my type, or maybe this is not a good time in my life, or whatever the case may be. Because I believe at this point in my life, it's not only just about me finding what I want. It's also if I have certain things that I don't think have been resolved or need to be resolved, I'm not trying to bring my crazy to you. No more than I want you to bring your crazy to me.
Let me ask you this question. Mm-hmm. If you broke up in a relationship, because some people, I'm a firm believer if you break up, not being in love per se, but if you're in love, then maybe you need to cleanse yourself. Maybe that could be 6 months to a year. But what is Alyson's take on, because there isn't anything wrong with telling somebody like, yo, listen, I just got out of a relationship. I'm drained. Like, you got to give me a minute. Yeah, give me some time. Like, we can kick it. You know what I'm saying? We can keep in touch. We can text. Hi, how are you? But like, talk about that, Alyson. That part of
I believe that friendship can be friendship if you really want a friendship. And right. if you believe in, if you care for a person and that kind of time is available in your life, see what happens. Like you said before, you prayed to God and God sent you Malika. So yes, if you think that there's something or someone you're attracted to and they're supposed to really be for you, then that will come in the right time. And if not, maybe you need to move on, or they need to move on, or whatever the case may be, because you just want to create at this point in time in your life. You want to create all the right scenarios, and even though, like you said, nothing is perfect, but you have the ability to write your own scenario. We have the ability to write the ends to our chapters.
Yeah.
It ain't got to be we don't, because we've seen it. We know crazy when we see it.
Oh,
absolutely. So I'm just saying, so you know how to avoid certain things, or when things wouldn't be just the right foundation to build upon. So for me, I'm always willing to give something a chance, but I also have to speak my truth.
Yeah, and it's so funny because as we get older, for all the people in the back row that don't understand this, as much as we can be sexual people, when you get to somebody that you love, and the maturer you get, it's not about sex anymore. It's about like a camaraderie, a
companionship, camaraderie.
Yes. Like Malika and I've always said when Malika and I have gotten together, somebody asked me like, what's the difference of being the OB to this B? I said, right now I have my best friend with me at any given time. Any given time, I don't have to look for somebody to go hang with. I have one.
You got the person you want to be with more than anybody already right there.
And yes, and still to be our ages, we're the new 30s, the new 40s and stuff like that. So we're not the typical, maybe what our parents are, Oh
no, but not
somebody's joining the conversation.
No, we the new 40s and what have you, but we the next old people. Let's get that together. If we lucky enough to keep having birthdays, we staying around. So we have to take that into consideration as well. We the next old people, y'all.
So I have my other co-host with me this evening. Can you elaborate and tell us how you felt about what it was when it was like when you and I first got together, when you realized that it was
it was magical.
I understand that. But everybody out there in real talk, go ahead, go down
It was just glorious.
Did he just agree on his own behalf?
So
no, honestly, I heard you say, and we have said this many times, that God sent us to each other.
Right.
I mean, the timing was perfect.
Yeah.
We ran into each other 3 times. You know, how does that happen in New York City, as big as it is, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it truly was meant for us to connect with each other, and I mean, it felt so natural. Like just us talking to each other, getting to know each other. Hey, you feel like getting something to eat? Sure. You want to go for a walk? Sure. Want to hear some music?
And thank God Bill was smart enough to pay attention. Bam.
Yeah.
Because you know what's so funny, Alyson, you're totally right, because even I or anybody out there, and this is for all the people that think their ego is bigger than who they are. Sometimes, dial down, like dial it down some, because the bottom line is, what brought Malika to me is because I've always said I kissed a lot of frogs, and she's kissed a lot of frogs. And Alyson, I know you kissed a lot of frogs, right? But we thought they was going to turn into something that they weren't. And the bottom line is, when Malika and I one time, and this is full transparency, we were sitting there and we were talking on our first date, and she asked me a question about someone. She said, if I'm going to tell you the truth about something. And then she said, what's the story with you and so-and-so? And I said, what do you mean? She said, basically he said this about you. He said this, he said that. And you know what's so funny? I was so appreciative that somebody finally was truthful and not take the word of a buffoon.
Of someone out there. But
yes, and come to say, like me enough to say, well, let me ask you, what's the story of this? And let me tell you something. To this day, my word has been my bond with her. She said, don't say nothing to that person. I never have. And we've been together now, going on 6 years, right? Yes. And we've been married 3. I say all that to say that that's the trust that was put forth that first date. But the bottom line is that because she didn't know where it was going to go after that. But
she could not have known what your response was going to be. But she trusted enough to put it out there. But this is what I love too. You said something when you want to get something to eat, sure. Want to go for a walk? It's the little things, y'all. Like you said, dial it back, get your ego out, don't overthink it, and don't put yourself down. Don't put this person too high up. Don't put yourself too. This is the little thing. If you ask me to go on a walk, you know I must like you, because I'm not walking across the street. I'm trying to go meet my dear. I'm trying to tell you, I'm not. That's who I am.
But you know what the beautiful thing about it, Alyson? You can tell somebody, how about this? Let's walk and then let's sit down and talk. Yes. You know what I'm saying? Because the bottom line is,
oh my God.
When I think about my injuries and my health issues and stuff like that, I'm not walking. Malika and I, we'll go out here right now and we'll walk. And right now, if anybody is following Malika on social media, you see she'll put in. She did 3 miles. She did 2 miles. I'll be like, that's good. I'm riding this bike. I'm on this bike. My body is not allowing those walks.
Yeah, pretty much.
So you know we're willing to do those things, and that's how you got to know each other. And like you said, she sat down and said, there's some information I have. I'm getting ready to throw it in front of his face and see how he responds. It could be positive. It could be negative. It could begin a journey or it could end a journey. But you did that and you took that chance.
And let me just say this before you comment, sweetie. Yeah. The thing is that think about, even if I would have lied and said, oh, I'm not going to say anything, and then I would have betrayed her trust. So there was an aftermath to this. You understand what I'm saying? Because even when we decided to consummate a relationship, I still held that legacy, that trust forthright between the two of us to keep going on. Go ahead, honey.
But the thing is, I gave, not even knowing you, I've seen your face, but I didn't know you.
Yeah.
I gave you the respect that I would want somebody to give me. And, it was as if I had Bill's back without even knowing him. Because
the thing is also, you could have had more information. You asked the question, but you know what I'm saying? The answer you already had, you were trying to find out that there was more to it. So if he had lied or tried to deceive or go around, skirt the situation, you would have known that.
Mm-hmm.
Or that would have been another thing that, that would have been put in the pot. Well, now I already know that A and B is C. So I'm just saying 1 and 1 is 2. I just want to see if he was going to tell me what, if he had a 2 times 2.
Right.
And if you didn't do that, then that would have caused you to form a different opinion of him. But when he was forthright and honest and said, and this is the layout all the way here, there's 26 letters in the alphabet, and I count up to about 10 and I'm good. And he was able to say that, then it lets you know.
No, it's true. And I just, the way I look at it is so much negativity in the world as it is. There's no need for people to put people down, and people do that for different reasons. And, I'm glad I shared it with him. So, I just wanted to let him know I had his back. I was looking out for him. And that was kind of
and now you very early on. For the next 50, 60, 70 years.
Yes, for a lifetime. Definitely for a lifetime. And truly appreciate it. So, 3 years married and going. What's up?
So, let the world out there know.
You have this twinkle in your eye. What's up?
Exactly. You got a twinkle.
Mm-hmm.
Let the world know. What would be Malika's ways of developing a good relationship? What would be your bullet points?
The first thing that comes to mind is just respecting each other, respecting each other's boundaries and space, and friendship. So, I heard you mention earlier how we both came to the table with this, right? Businesses, careers. And, Bill, I don't know if too many people know, but I was between Philly and New York. So I lived in New York, but I was in Philly every single week working, teaching at the college, running my art gallery with my mom, and still working a full-time job in the city. And then along comes Bill, and love him dearly, but Bill is also a full-time job with the social life. So I'm just being, it's real talk, right?
It's real talk, absolutely.
So, there were days like Friday, I worked in New York, and we may hang out on a Friday night. And then Saturday morning, I taught class at the college in Philly.
Yeah.
For a couple of hours, I would go work at the gallery and spend time with my mom. And then if Bill and I had something to do that Saturday night, I'd drive 2 hours back to New York, change, do everything at home at my apartment, and then hang out with him as if I did nothing all day. So no complaints, but you do what you have to do. Exactly. You and Lenny and Bill spoke on that earlier. It's making the time to do what you have to do. Obviously, that's not something I did every single week, but there were certain times, and I knew if it was something that was important for him to have me there with him by his side, then I would make it happen. Period.
Let me just correct. Not making the time to do what you have to do, making the time to do what you want to do.
Exactly. Because it's so easy to say I'm tired or exactly.
To say, let me go ahead and shimmy into this dress so I can go and deal with my man.
Yeah.
And it's so funny, Ali and Malika, it's so funny that we were talking about this earlier, like Malika was saying, that I was forthright in understanding that, listen, my wife owns a gallery. She teaches at a college. So, and then also she's a professional in New York City. So for me, it wasn't a point like, oh my God, she can't spend time with me. That was a point where I was kind of gloating and happy that I had somebody that
had all that going on.
Yeah, like I enjoyed that aspect of her and see, maybe this is real talk for those out there listening. If you got somebody that's just sitting on the couch and not doing anything, and the only thing they can give you is physical and cook for you, then maybe that's your limitations of what you're asking for. I'm not saying that's bad. I'm just saying understand what you're asking for is what you're getting. You understand what I'm saying? When I asked for a boss, I got one. So I understood. Yes.
Plus, y'all don't know. If you don't know now, you know. Bill like to put on a little suit here and there, and a good sports jacket and a good loafer, and go on down to the and support the gallery or pick her up at the school. All of those things. You know what I'm saying? Where you can intertwine your world.
That's so true. So true. I mean, Bill, being a martial artist, I knew nothing about martial arts, but I thoroughly enjoyed learning about it and, just watching him in action, seeing you speak to the children at the different, events. I mean, there are just so many things that we each have brought to the table, and I care about him. So I'm interested, but I don't know. I found it interesting, even if we weren't in a relationship. I like to just broaden my knowledge about some things. So, I think that's the key thing, is to bring something to the table. Like when you're single, still keep moving and grooving and doing stuff and growing as an individual. And then when you connect, you have something.
You got something together. But Malika, let me also just say a shout out to you. You're a special lady. And so, you're rare and it's very hard to find. So, good God, thank God, Bill, you found somebody.
Yeah, Alex, I co-sign it. I really do. I'm going to tell you something. Malika says something to me. Shout out Suzanne on
Hey Suzanne.
YouTube. Sorry. Shout out to everybody that's watching from wherever you are around the world. But Malika has said something to me one time. She said, "Listen, I like you as a person." And she said, if we weren't in a relationship, we would be friends.
Definitely.
So and this is my testament to all those that, and this is a segue into what we were conversing about earlier about dating as you become mature. Date somebody that you like. Because the bottom line, if you're maturing the mind and maturing the soul and the heart and the spirit, God forbid it breaks up, at least it'll be amicable and it'll be an adult situation, because there isn't anything worse to deal with somebody that's not equal to you emotionally, mentally, physically, financially. So align yourself with somebody. And I'm not telling anybody not to date anybody that is. If you're making 7 figures, don't date somebody that's dating 6 figures. If you're dating 6 figures, don't date somebody that's dating 5 figures. I'm not telling you that. I'm telling you somebody that's
equally somebody. That's what it is. It's about equal.
Yes.
And yes, we can be open to like you said, helping and lifting up and so on and so forth. But find that thing, because like you said, even if it doesn't work out, at least you have written good things in stone and you have a friendship or whatever. But at this point, it's not all about I love you or I lust you. And when I say love, I don't say not just love, but in love. Do you know what I'm saying? It's another thing. And sometimes we can get blinded by that thing. You know what I'm saying? That tells us we're all in, and we shouldn't be. There are red flags and we turn them pink. You know what I'm saying? You got to be clean. You got to be, and it's got to be, speak to yourself.
But think about it, Allie. But think about it, shame on you to tell Malika and I that you're dating somebody and then you're coming in from town and he doesn't want to pick you up from the airport. Huh? Like, wait a minute. That might be the only time you get to see her for a couple of days, because she might be flying back out to go someplace else. So even if you can just pick her up and have a conversation, baby, I miss you. I love you. How you doing? You good? Listen. And then, y'all can hold hands on the way home, because like I said, the mature you get, sometimes it's almost not about the intercourse, but it's about the interaction. And not to say that we're still young and vibrant. Everybody out there, don't get it twisted. I'm just talking about all of us.
I'm just picking with you.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm just talking about all of us.
Malika said, "Let me just stop him right here. Let me just."
Hey, Sue. No, but I say that because the bottom line is, you understand what. Listen, full transparency. When you're single, you're about the score. You're about the number on how good you think you made somebody feel. I mean, that can be for a woman too. It just as it can be for a man. But the bottom line is when you're evenly yoked, it's about the touch. It's about the hand holding. Like when Malika and I tell people all the time, our silliest moments are the most attractive moments for me.
Me too.
When we laugh and joke and dance and sing and just play and just get up in the morning, and even when she's out to bed and she's like, yoo-hoo, and I'll be like waving. I'm just saying. But I'm just saying.
You're being yourself.
I'm just saying that just to be kids at heart means the world to me. And I appreciate you for that. And I love you for that. And I know as hard as she works, and she knows as hard as I work to do this and do other things, even on the political realm. And shout out to that political realm. Everybody in New York City, vote tomorrow. Tomorrow's the last day you can vote for the primary. I'm not telling you who to vote for, but I'm just telling you to the vote, for the vote. I don't know, Ali, I know you might still have some New York connections. You might not. But listen, everybody, tell them out there, listen, vote for somebody. If you want to know who I'm voting for, ask me, type it in. I'll tell you. I ain't got no problems telling you who I vote for, real talk, even though it's a personal thing, but I'll tell you. But please get out there and vote. Don't tell me about you don't like that person, you don't like this person, but you don't vote. Because then, you know what? Shut up. You're a loser. So I say all that to say this is Real Talk Chronicles. And this is Real Talk with Alyson Williams, and that's Alyson Williams, the first lady of Def Jam. Just call my name, 30 years. This is my other co-host, Malika Vaughn Foster, my wife, and we are here. We having a real talk about relationships.
Working on 30 years. Working on your 30 years. I know. Listen, I know it's coming. Time in. You know, I'm going to share something with you. My very dear sister friend, shout out to Lydia Stuckey, was the personal assistant for Dr. Maya Angelou for the last 22 years of Doctor's life. And she shared with me the doctor would used to say to her, if I ever get to a place where I'm not able to do for myself, or I'm not as present as I need, but I'm still alive, she said, always touch me. She would say, just rub my shoulder sometime, or just touch, do the, just always touch me. And it says a lot, the human touch is an incredible thing, and we need it. And as we get older, when, like as you say, it's not the sex of it all, it's the companionship, it's the camaraderie, whatever. And it's just the touch, it's just the holding of hands, or maybe a hug, or maybe lay your head on the shoulder. You know what I'm saying? Or just a glance. All those things begin to become so much more important than any other thing. And I'm going to turn it over like Lenny did. And if there's anybody out there who thinks that I would be a fabulous thing in your life, tell Bill about it. Tell Bill and Malika about it.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I co-sign that. I co-sign that.
If Wendy Williams can date on her show, I can date on your show. Come on.
No, well, this is our show. The third Monday of the month is our show. And listen, I really, Malika and I, we definitely wholeheartedly, we really mean that. Listen, if you feeling Alyson, holler at her. Come through me, because I'm gonna screen you. The detective in me is going to wean out all the BS. All the BS. We're gonna get all the BS because I know what she wants. So don't come with don't come with the Rumpelstiltskin. Don't come with the Pied Piper. It's not happening. Don't come with the. It's not happening, doggy. I'm gonna shut it down at the door. It's really not, because the bottom line is, and it's beautiful. And Alyson, it is out there because like I said, you have for those who don't know her heart, shame on you. If you get to know her, beautiful person. Let me tell you something. Like Alyson is probably, like you said, the one person you can see her on stage, and after she performs, you can go in and say, "Oh, Alyson, can I take a picture with you? Can I have an autograph?" And then Alyson will tell you, "Yeah," and then you can buy me a drink too. You know what I'm saying?
I know that's right.
You know, Alex, because Alex, they ain't gonna talk the spit out your mouth and that.
Come on now.
Yo, but see, that's the authenticity of the lady you say. Let me tell you something. I told Alyson, listen, we've been in music videos again together. I do her security for her. When I was at my lowest, when my mother passed away, she grabbed my hand, and her and my mother born on the same day. Who knew, right? That is just so. Let me tell you something. She will always live in a certain lore with me, and that's why, real talk, she's seen it go from 2008 right now to 2021. Woo! And she told me, and wow, and I've asked her, and let me tell you something. When I said to her one time, I said, "Allie, I said, I'm gonna come back," and she's seen we've done town halls, we've done so many different things, promos, we shopped them around. People didn't buy them, people didn't want them, people thought they needed to be celebrity driven, and they then asked me to sell it. That wasn't even a conversation. But the bottom line is, like I said, and Malika told me to come back and do it again. Mm-hmm. And do it again. And Malika and I, we did the podcast. And so my wife, she did it with me. And then I reached out to Alyson, and Alyson said, well, of course I would do it with you. And she said, thank you for asking me back. And I told her, I said, listen, you're not going to find a more loyal person than Bill. You're not. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that you're not loyal, anybody out there listening, but you're not going to find a person more loyal than me. So the bottom line is, the fruits of this labor, how could I not come back and ask somebody that held me down when I was at my vulnerable point in my life, when I thought people had me and didn't have me. And the beautiful thing is, like, my beautiful wife, she'll come with me and go to my mother's grave site and watch me put flowers on my grave, and you know, Alyson just extend her vocals at the service. So the beautiful thing about that, what I'm trying to say is that love is out there. Sometimes you don't know how you're going to find it, but I asked God for it, and He gave me Malika. So like Alyson said in the beginning of the show, she said, yo, to see you and Malika, there's always hope, right, Alley Cat? You know what I'm saying? So, right? Go ahead. You can elaborate on that.
I'm just saying, I think it's out there. I know what it's like to be sexy, scintillating, and sensationally 60, and I know it's still out there for me. I'm not worried about these numbers. Hell, numbers are infinite. I'm good. Come on with it.
Yeah. Everybody.
I want to spend the quality time that I have left in a quality way with a quality person.
Right, yes. Right.
Yes.
And you know what's so funny? We're gonna do that. Everybody, this is Real Talk Chronicles with my co-host Alyson Williams. This is Real Talk with Alyson Williams, my special, beautiful wife, Malika Corsa. Yes, everybody, listen. If you like what you hear, subscribe to it. Real Talk Chronicles touches all bases. We touch the serious, we touch the play, but the bottom line is we're always going to be real. The one thing that I want to say before we get out of here, and I'll let Alyson follow up after me before I give my PSA, is that please, what we do is about real talk, right? Real talk is real talk. I don't care how you want to change that word and how you want to posture it, but it's real. This is opinion with facts. These are personal experiences that we can elaborate on, that we can articulate. Get out there and vote. Juneteenth. People come at me and think I'm anti-police. I'm not anti-police. I can never be anti something that pays me to stay at home and talk to you. But what I am is anti the culture of what has been put in the system. I will always defend that. I am a man. I speak up for my culture, the Latin and African American community. I will always do that. If you don't like what you hear, you don't have to chime in. That's okay. This was done out of the spirit of my mother and my ancestors, and the people that rock with me understand the authenticity of it. If it ever gets picked up and it goes another way, then that's God's blessing. But the bottom line is I can always stay here and give you the purity of what we do. So I say all that to say to the haters, hate on. It's all good. I got you. Like we can buffer you out. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate the people that are always part of the Real Talk family. Alyson, Lenny that chimed in and gave his time, Pastor Kevin Graves, Kevin Branzetti, Chuck Richards, my beautiful wife for always having my back. I appreciate you. You make certain people jealous, but you just make me all the time. It's a beautiful thing. I say that I'm sure as I make Ben jealous of being with you. And I said, okay. And I love that. But the bottom line is we build, and the things that we are doing in the years that we have been together is just pop, 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 pop. And I say all that to say because this is just a part of Real Talk that I have to put out there for the people. You don't have to hate on this covenant that's here. You can't penetrate the Alyson and the Bills and the Malikas and the Alysons and the Bills and the Malikas and whomever. You can't penetrate this. If you're part of the family, then rock with us. If you're not, watch out, because as we grow, you're gonna try to catch up to us in any way. And I just had to say that because as people take shots at me or my wife or even you, Alyson, for people like we're not gonna always have Sage. You know what I'm saying? We're not gonna always have Sage. Because as Alyson sings, you know this. People have hated on you in your musical career, Alyson, that we've never even conversed about. You could tell me stories about things that could have happened to you, that should have happened to you. And I've been like, oh wow, really? And you know, but the bottom line is you're still here because you're so diverse and you're so talented. Malika, you and I, we just talked about this from the past month of all the things that have happened to us. Mm-hmm. And we've been like, oh my God. So I say all of this, that Real Talk is here to stay. I tell everybody out there, align yourself with positive energy, beautiful people, Real Talk people, because that is important to me, that's important to my wife, and that's important to what I build. We've built right here. And long as I have that, listen, I don't care if 2 people listen to me. If 2 people tell me all the time, I love what you and Alyson are doing, you and Pastor Graves are doing, you are just Malika doing, you and whomever are doing, then I'm gonna keep doing it. Because Real Talk was conceived in the house, and we had 60 and 70 people. Alyson, I tell you, we had them in there, baby. And I just say all that to say that I'm appreciative of everything that everybody out there is watching. Thank you all. Alyson, and you and Malika can close us out. Alyson, I'll let you go first, and then Malika, you can close us out. But go ahead, Allie.
As always, it's always a pleasure to be here on the 3rd Monday. I look forward to next month. Happy Juneteenth, of course. Happy Black Music Month. How did I let Lenny Green get away without us discussing Black Music Month, which is true? And also happy Pride Month to our LGBTQ and beyond. You know, it's about diversity and inclusion. Of course, belated happy Father's Day to all you good dads out there and all you good guys out there who even stepped up without being biological fathers, but to just be a father figure. There's a difference, between it, and we recognize you for that. To let people know, as Black Music Month goes forward, I have new music. Summer Nights in Harlem. Please find it on all musical platforms. Support it, download it, stream it. Look for the new CD by the same name, Summer Nights in Harlem. Tell Bill if you just think I'm cute, just tell
them. Please tell me. Listen. Tell me or tell Malika. I would love to come and tell Alyson. Yo, somebody was like, yo, they thought she was cute. They like you. Let me tell you something. I've touched a lot of souls out there.
Me and mine, Lenny and his, you and yours, and we're going on a triple date, man. We're going.
Oh yeah.
Let's make it happen. So Alyson, are you being careful during the pandemic? I know it's
because I want people to understand, even though as we are seeing a little light at the end of the tunnel, we are still in the middle of this thing. So I want you to continue to wash your hands, sanitize, wear the mask when you feel you have to or need to. And just be cautious in your mind. I know it's difficult. We've been out of commission for 18 months, 12, 30, 40, 50. Yeah, it's a long time to be sequestered over here and quarantined over there and social distance on the other side. But we're not over this. We're coming out of it, but it's not over. We got to still be diligent. We still have to be smart about it. So please do those things, because if not, we're going to go right back to where we were. I guarantee you.
Absolutely. And listen, everybody, I know the world's opened up. I know D-Nice is coming to New York. I mean, D-Nice is doing a little tour. Alyson, you need to get on that. Listen, see, I think he's doing something. You got to reach out to Melba more. September. Melba, if you need some security, I got you. I told you that from the time you was on the show. Yeah, Melba's on it. You reach out to her, Allie. Allie, you need to be on that too. You need to reach on.
Make it happen.
Yeah, let's make that happen. So, because I'll do dual status security. I can work both of y'all. You know what I'm saying? But with that being said, sweetheart, close us out with some positivity, some love, some affirmation. Anything you want to say before we close out? Go ahead, baby.
I always tell you how proud I am of you, and I'm going to shout it as loud as I can. Bill Foster, I'm extremely proud of you and the work that you do. You're selfless, you're transparent, and no matter how many people are tuned in at different times, you're touching someone. Right. And, we love and appreciate you for that. I thank you for introducing me to Alyson. I'm just always in awe of beautiful, strong Black women. And your strength and your energy just jumps out off the screen, and I can't wait to see you in person again soon. Yes, I can't wait to see you up on stage and hear your beautiful voice just echo throughout. We love you. We love you, and we thank you for sharing your energy and your love and your good words and spirit with everyone. So, Bill, that's all I got to say.
Everybody, this is real talk. It's positive vibes only. This is what we do.
Yes.
Listen, Alyson Williams. Alyson, tell them new music, how to find you, where to find you. If they want to book you, give them all that information right now.
That's it. Summer Nights in Harlem is on all music platforms. We're celebrating 30 years of Just Call My Name. You can find me on Facebook, Alyson Williams Music. You can find me on Instagram, Alyson Williams Music, and on Twitter, I'm Alyson Williams. So just reach out. If you got a booking, I'm gonna give you the number. It's a day and chain. You don't even know your own number, but it is that way. It is 631. Hold on. There it is. 631-604-8553. Once again, 631-604-8553. Call and we can do a show.
Yeah,
we're gonna do it.
On Facebook, I'll have all my dates up for the next. I got about 12 days. God is good. Things are opening up, and you'll be able to see me in New York. You'll be able to see me in Queens. You'll be able to see me in Atlanta. It's coming together, baby.
And what I'm going to try to do, I'm trying to get all the hosts, the co-hosts together one day, and we have just a real talk co-host show. But everybody, and if you want to date Alyson, if you got a crush on her, listen, industry, but come here, I'll add Malika or I, and send us an inbox or a DM, and I'll interview you. And
Bill, one other thing. thing I want to say, we were talking before we came on to the recording. I'm actually in Delaware right now. I'm here with my crew from Front Stage Radio. I had Cynthia on your show when I brought all the ladies on.
Yes.
So our show, Front Stage Radio, the Front Stage Radio show is moving with leaps and bounds with Girl Chat Corner. And we have to come back and have Malika on so she can do her whole segment, and be a part of it. John Barber, Cynthia Tyre, Patty Bean, Barbara Cherie, and of course Cynthia Tyre. Did I say Kim Pendergarden? Gardner? A lot of great things are happening. Even as I was doing some sidebar things here in Delaware, we had to go into a photo shoot and a video shoot and what have you. And I was invited to come on Good Morning Delaware. So things are just moving. Nice. God is touching everything. So just shout out to Front Stage Radio, and I love you guys.
Yeah, love you. Excellent. Everybody, tell Cynthia we say hi. Real talk, baby. Listen, positive energy only. Shout out to Cynthia. Shout out to all the people that's chimed in, the Ghost Watchers, the people that have come in the group. We love you. We appreciate you. Real talk. See you next week with Pastor Kevin Graves. We out of here. Bye-bye, y'all.